Expo Concierto.
Every Wednesday night at 8 on KSJE Farmington.
I'm John Lienhard with The Engines of Our Ingenuity. Every day we talk about human invention and creativity in science, technology, and the arts. We talk about all the drama and intrigue, insight and personal conviction that constantly bubble just below the surface of a world built by human hands. We honor complexity at the same time we keep things understandable. Do join me. We'll have a lot of fun together.
Weekdays at 5:45 on KSJE. Hi everyone, I'm Scott Michlin.
And I'm Jenny Lee Ryan.
And we're here to tell you how to become a zero-mile achiever.
First, register online for the Zero Mile Fun Run at KSJE.com.
Second, join us at San Juan College Graduation Plaza on Saturday, May 18th.
Third, run. We'll start the race at 10:30 a.m. on an actual 27-foot course downhill, and that's it.
All proceeds benefit listener-supported KSJE.
So register now at KSJE.com.
Hello again. There's nothing like a live concert to bring out the best in musicians, largely because they know there's an audience a few feet away taking in every note and expressing their approval. We'll hear from Goodman, Ellington, Kenton, and several others as they perform on stage. Tune in, go swinging down the lane with David Miller.
Saturdays at 7 on KSJE Farmington. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, your community hospital with a rich heritage that dates back to before New Mexico was a state. We've been improving the health of the Four Corners since 1910. As a nonprofit hospital, San Juan Regional Medical Center is a values-driven organization. We strive to deliver on our mission to personalize health care and create vitality and enthusiasm in healing. We are here for you when you need us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services. Eleven minutes past 8 o'clock. It's Thursday morning here on KSJE. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for joining us at 90.9 FM. Special welcome to our viewers who are watching us live this morning on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. Welcome aboard, everybody. Coming up in just a moment, my guest from the San Juan County Partnership. We're going to be talking about the semi-annual Drug Take-Back Day that is coming up this weekend, so we hope you'll stay tuned for that. Learn some important tips about how to safely dispose of expired prescription drugs and other medications you may have around your house. So please stay tuned for that coming up in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Later on this hour, we'll check in on the economy at 8:55 with Jason Kelcoat from Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation. That is coming up later on this hour. Mick Hess will take us roving with the arts after the news at 9 o'clock today. Mick is playing more Bach cantatas for us. In fact, today it's cantatas number 62 and 63 on Roving with the Arts today at 9:06. And then don't forget about the second airing of Right on Four Corners. It's our local and regional author program today at 12:06, hosted by Tracy Hales-Vass. She is talking with members of the Corrales Writing Group on the program today, and the book that they have put together, Love, Sweet to Spicy. It is an anthology about the Corrales Writing Group, and you'll hear more about that today on Right on Four Corners with Tracy Hales-Vass at 12:06. A reminder, of course, registration now open for the fundraiser for KSJE and the fun event, our Zero Mile Fun Run. It is coming up on Saturday, May 18th, so less than a month from now here at San Juan College. You can register at KSJE.com, $15 now, $20 on the day of the race, and it is, in fact, a zero-mile fun run. So we hope you'll join us. The race will start at 10:30, and the race will end at 10:31 because it's a zero-mile fun run. You're about 27 feet downhill. So we hope you'll join us on May 18th. It's a great way to support this radio station and support all the programs that you're listening to on KSJE. You can register right now at KSJE.com. Also, if you want more information about the programs that we air here on the radio station, go to our website, KSJE.com. It's also where you'll find our regional events calendar. We compile a lot of things that are going on, not just in San Juan County, but throughout the region. So we want to remind you about some of those things, including the Basin Energy Conference continuing here at San Juan College. Tomorrow is the first annual Arbor Day tree giveaway. We're giving away free trees here at San Juan College tomorrow on Friday in conjunction with Arbor Day from earlier this week. There's a historic downtown Farmington house tour happening this week as well, and the annual indoor-outdoor car show happening at McGee Park this weekend as well. Lots of things to see and take advantage of. There's many more events than what I've mentioned. Just go to our website. Again, it's KSJE.com and click on the regional events calendar. Let me get to my guest who is sitting here patiently while I get through all these announcements to talk about our main topic of the morning, and that is the National Drug Take-Back Day. Joining me here in the studio representing the San Juan County Partnership, also the New Mexico Army National Guard, is Sergeant Matthew Martin. Good morning, Sergeant.
Good morning, Scott. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome back to KSJE. You've been here before, but this is a new space, right?
Yeah, this is very nice.
We haven't put you in front of a camera before, so here you are. And thanks for coming in to talk about this event. As I mentioned, this happens twice a year, right?
Yes, sir. Once in April, and then again in October.
I got you. And the idea is to allow folks to safely dispose of any expired prescription drugs they may have lying around the house, to get those out of their medicine cabinets and safely taken away and disposed of, right?
Correct. Any unused, expired drugs, like you said, this is just an opportunity for the community to properly dispose them, and what we'll do is take them away, hand them off to the local law enforcement, and they take them to Albuquerque for incineration.
Gotcha. And that's the right way to get rid of them then. Is that what they're saying?
Yes, sir. That is the right way to get rid of them.
Okay. And so the details are, it's a Saturday from 10 to 1.
10 to 1.
And it's throughout the community. There are various drop-off locations that folks can take advantage of then, right?
Exactly. We do it throughout San Juan County. So there's a location in Safeway in Aztec, Farmers Market in Bloomfield, 2 locations for Walgreens on Main Street, and then the one on 20th Street. And again, the location where I'll be located at is at Shiprock Police Department with Diné Bajojo Coalition and San Juan County Partnerships.
Okay, and those are the places where folks can take things back on Saturday. And then there are permanent locations always at some of the law enforcement facilities, right?
Correct. Throughout the year, the permanent locations are Aztec, Bloomfield, Farmington Police Departments, San Juan County Sheriff's Office, Kirtland and Lee Acres substations for the Sheriff's Office, and
right.
The Northern Navajo Medical Center
and
has
so
a permanent drop box.
All those places can accept these, but this, particularly this weekend, the other Take-Back Day locations are what you listed before.
Yes, sir. And this particular day is pushed through the Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA.
Right.
So the DEA puts out information through nationwide, supplies us with poster boards, boxes, take-back bags, and so it's a culmination of all the law enforcement agencies throughout the nation, and also as well as the National Guard and community organizations.
Okay, and talk to me a little bit about the issue and the problem of expired prescription drugs, because I mean they can still be, I guess, fairly effective, but if they've already done what they're supposed to do for you, there's no need to keep them around the house. They lose their effectiveness, or they can be picked up by somebody else in your household, and that's where the problem comes in, right?
Yes, for sure. And also one aspect as well is just like any other household ingredients or anything that you have in the house, the potency of these drugs, they're limited. So after a year, maybe you have some prescription pills that have been expired. Yes, people do take them, but their dosages, they only have so much of a lifespan. So someone might be taking them and it might not have the same effect, so maybe they'll take 3 or 4, and who knows the concentration of these pills. So the best thing to do is, if your prescription is expired, take it back into where you got it from the pharmacy and get a new prescription that is up to date.
Right, or go back to your doctor to get a new prescription, I guess, if that one's expired.
Yes.
And you can't refill it anymore.
Right.
Because if you leave it lying around, what we find is, you, law enforcement find, is it gets into the hands of young people, criminals, who knows, right, who just want to abuse those prescription drugs for whatever reason.
Exactly. In some local schools here in the county, we've seen a rise in prescription pill abuse throughout this last year. So we've seen a rise in prescription pill abuse within the youth in middle school and high school. So they do get them from family members, a lot from friends, and their peers as well. So.
And I have to stop you because you said middle school, which maybe some folks might be shocked to hear. Kids that young in middle school would be already abusing prescription drugs.
Exactly. There are some cases out there where the middle school kids are affected by this, and like we did say, they get them from home and from friends.
Right. And so if I got my prescription drugs in my medicine cabinet and they've done what they're supposed to do and I don't need them anymore, but I still have them, I haven't dropped them off yet or disposed of them properly. I know Pamela Drake has said from the San Juan County Partnership numerous times that medicine cabinets maybe aren't the best place to store these things, that they should almost be under a lock and key.
Exactly.
In your house because they're so could be so dangerous in the wrong hands.
Exactly. Some of these drugs like oxycodone, morphine, those types of prescription pills should be in a lockbox somewhere. It's so evident nowadays that kids know exactly where to go get Tylenol, cough medicine, and lo and behold, there right next to it is some oxycodone or morphine, so they might get into it.
Right. And if I don't have kids in my house, but maybe I have kids that visit my house, they're not dumb. They know where to look for this stuff.
Right. And these days with the media and social media, there's a lot of outlets and exposure for these types of drugs. And not only if they don't experiment with these drugs, they can also sell them for money as well. Right,
which is another issue. And so again, for grandparents or aunts or uncles or anyone else that's listening who may not have children in their family, this is something they should still be paying attention to because we know a lot of our elderly residents do have a pretty, some of them, a large regimen of pills to take every day for various health concerns, and that's where these kids are getting these things from, I suppose.
Yes, exactly. And some of the elderly, they like to have them in easy, accessible places like under the bed or in a drawer, places where these kids can easily get to.
Right. And the other thing, too, I've heard is that you should kind of know how many pills you have or count your pills and know maybe when you're going to be running out. And so because maybe kids are sneaky and they may take, not the whole bottle, but maybe they'll only take 4 or 5 or whatever out of a pretty full bottle, and it's hard to know that you're missing some.
Exactly. And if you're dealing with an elderly person who has pills, the adult should educate themselves as well and do help the elderly, and inform the youth too as well that these are grandma and grandpa's medications and you don't touch them and this and that. Education is probably a big proponent in getting the word out. Right.
You mentioned that we're finding children in high school and middle schools that are experimenting with these things, and again, if they're not using them themselves, it could be something they could sell for money for something else, and so that's kind of how it works, I suppose, is they find these things and then use them or sell them.
Yes, exactly, Scott.
And this is at schools throughout the county?
Yes, throughout the county.
Right.
And the Nebahajo Coalition primarily works and focuses in the Shiprock area and CCSD schools, but throughout the county, it is still a really high percentage as far as the youth getting their hands on these pills. And the only statistics that we see are infractions in the schools. So police records and whatnot we don't have access to, but we do have some data through the school systems that they allow us to see.
Once the kids get in trouble at school, you get some of that information.
Yes,
is what you're saying.
Yes.
And that's where you're finding it.
Yes, and that allows us to focus our efforts on where we need to give some more support.
Right.
Through education.
Sure. My guest is Sergeant Matthew Martin. He's with the U.S. Army National Guard here in San Juan County. We're talking about the National Drug Take-Back Day, which is happening this Saturday from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m., bringing expired or unused medications to drop-off sites for disposal by law enforcement. And that's another part of this. Law enforcement will be at all these locations right on Saturday to observe and help with the proper disposal of these drugs.
Yes, there'll be a uniformed law enforcement officer at each location. Coalition members and even the National Guard cannot transport these drugs, so it's a big bonus to see the law enforcement out there to support the community in these types of events.
Right, and there'll be a location near wherever you will happen to be on Saturday, everybody. There's a location at the Safeway supermarket in Aztec, the Farmers Market in Bloomfield, both Walgreens locations in Farmington on East Main and 20th Street, and over in Shiprock at the Shiprock Police Department. That's where folks will be stationed.
Yes.
To accept these things.
Yes, we'll be there right at 10 through 1 o'clock. We see most of our heavy drugs come in as far as the amount, usually around lunchtime. So,
right.
You know, it's a Saturday. People
are out.
People are out.
Sure.
And they go to town and around lunch to get,
right.
food, whatnot, groceries. And that's when we see a lot of people come and stop by and drop off their prescription pills.
Right.
From 11 to about 12:30. But we're there early at 10.
Sure. And this is, again, happens twice a year. And probably a good time after 6 months to maybe do an inventory of your medicine cabinet or your lockbox or wherever you store your prescription drugs and just see what's expired, what's still lying around the house, and
right.
what you need to get rid of.
Right. And if any listeners are out there that work in a community, let's say nursing home or a community home where some expired prescriptions are, do please to bring them to one of these locations. We'll get them off their hands.
That's a great point. Now's a great time to do that, too, at this event, to make sure they're disposed of properly. And, of course, the other drop-off locations year-round, right, or at the law enforcement agencies as well.
Yes.
At the different police departments. So, again, we've got Aztec, Bloomfield, Farmington PD, the Sheriff's Office, so not just in Aztec, but also at their substations in Kirtland and Lee Acres, and then the Northern Navajo Medical Center. And these are all drop boxes, basically. Is that what they have, or are they places to go inside?
The Northern Navajo Medical Center actually has a drop box.
Okay, right.
There's a little slot in there, and you just put it in there. But when you do take it to the police departments, do let them know at the front desk that you do have some prescription pills, and they'll take them off your hands.
Gotcha.
And dispose of them properly.
Okay.
But everybody can go inside a
right.
substation.
True.
But yeah, they take them to a different location and dispose of them.
Right. And again, I always ask you about the way to dispose of these things, because there's a do's and don'ts kind of a way to do that, right? You don't just dump them in the trash or pour them down the drain or things like that, right?
Exactly. And if you throughout the year you can't get to one of these locations, say you live way far outside of the county or in the edge of the county, there are proper ways to dispose of these. Step one would be to remove your name or black out your name or any information that pertains to an individual that's on the prescription bottle itself. Take all that off. Take the drugs out.
Right.
Dispose of them in organic matter, soil, or anything that can decompose the pills themselves. Put them inside of, let's say, a plastic bag or a baggie. Shake it around, and then you can dispose of it in the trash can.
That's how you can do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Please try not to dispose of them in, local wastewaters, in the toilets.
Down the drain,
down
right.
The drain, right.
That's not good. Okay. And don't bury them in the backyard. Don't want that.
Well, I mean, if it is an organic matter,
it's going to break it down.
It's going to break it down.
Okay.
Just don't tell anybody, I guess.
All right. But the best way is to put it in the plastic bag. Put it in the organic material in the plastic bag and then toss it.
And then toss it, yes.
And the ultimate best way is to take it to this event on Saturday, I guess,
exactly.
is the best way to do it, everybody.
The best way is to have it incinerated along the line of disposing it, yes.
Right. Then we know it's done properly. And
Correct.
that's the whole idea. Now, we hear a lot about the opioid crisis in this country, and there's a lot of folks who are addicted to these pills, and you're telling me that there's not maybe as big of a problem in this part of the country as there is elsewhere.
Numbers-wise, yes.
Uh-huh.
San Juan County is, I would say, in the median area of I guess it would be deaths.
Right.
As compared to, like, let's say Rio Arriba County or Bernalillo County or down in Las Cruces. San Juan County, by by a margin is still in the middle as far as the opioid epidemic goes. Rio Arriba County has been one of the highest opioid statistically
speaking, right?
Speaking, yes, has been one of the highest counties here in New Mexico
because of overdoses and things like that, right?
Exactly, and through our counter drug program, we've been seeing a lot of the rise, and you can see it. It's through the corridors of I-25 and I-40. Obviously coming from Phoenix and coming from down south, coming up through New Mexico is it's following the corridors of the major transportation routes.
Gotcha. But still an issue here. We shouldn't ignore it.
No, by no means. Education through partnerships and city organizations, we can help keep the opioid problem down.
Very good. We're talking about National Drug Take Back Day. It's happening this Saturday. We just got a message on our Facebook page with a fan. You have a fan in Ninanizad. How's that? So
nice.
Thank you for watching. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for watching us this morning. The Drug Take Back Day is coming up on Saturday, everybody, at various locations throughout San Juan County. So again, from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m., you can bring expired and unused medications to drop-off locations for proper disposal by law enforcement. And again, those drop-off locations, we can't repeat it enough for our radio audience. The Safeway store in Aztec, Farmers Market in Bloomfield, both Walgreens in Farmington on East Main Street and 20th Street, and over at the Shiprock Police Department on the west side of the county. But pretty close to wherever you might be. So if you've got a lot of these things lying around, it's probably a good idea to gather them up and get rid of them the right way.
Yes, and on a good note, a lot of local hospitals and pharmacies are following a program, prescription medication or prescription monitoring program. The state is, I guess, pushing it a lot more. So what it does is track people who do get these prescription medications, and wherever they go throughout the state and other states, they're being monitored just so they can see the dosages that they're taking and how many drugs that they're taking. So kudos to the state, IHS, and the pharmacies that are monitoring these pills nowadays. So
very good.
It's very good.
Because I assume there'd be times when maybe people would, if they were addicted to maybe these things, they would maybe go to a different pharmacy and try to get a prescription refilled, or say they lost their pills and try to get more, or all kinds of stories of how to get and feed their habit if they had one.
For sure.
And so this could track that and know if someone's getting double the amount of the prescription they're supposed to because of they forgot, or say they got them stolen or misplaced them or what have you.
Right.
And that's what this is tracking for you.
Yes, and that's what I was trying to explain too, because some people can say, well, why do they keep giving them these pills? Why? Say they just dump them out and say, hey, I'm done. So now the prescription monitoring programs that they're instilling or enforcing more, it should help. It should help tremendously within the next year. For the most part, we only see data, biannually sometimes.
Right.
If we have a good program, maybe they're tracking them yearly, but this is I would say, middle-term, long-term goal that the prescription monitoring program is going to face, and I think it's already going to be a good proponent in reducing the amount of prescription pills that are out on the community.
Right. Well, that's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
It sounds like when we're talking about things like this. And I imagine a lot of folks who don't have young children in the house or even teenagers in the house would be surprised as to the lengths that they would go to, and others too. I don't want to just blame teenagers about this problem, because I think there are others, if they're addicted, and they're adults who are visiting your home or maybe doing work in your home or cleaning your home or anything,
right.
This could be a temptation for them.
Exactly. And some of the case studies that have been held, that have been done in, Rio Arriba County, it is a generational type of behavior that these pills get into, the grandfathers, grandparents, then the parents, and then now the youth, they see that
right.
they're being abused or they're being sold. So that is definitely one of the issues as well.
Interesting. So how to break that generational pattern, I guess. This is an opportunity to do that.
Right. Through programs like this, getting out into the media, education in the schools, talking to parents, coaching, mentoring is the best way.
All those things.
One of the best ways, yes.
Right. So that's important. National Drug Take Back Day, again, it happens twice a year, everyone. This is the spring opportunity to get rid of those expired or unused prescription drugs that are lying around in your home. Again, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, day after tomorrow. And you can take them by numerous locations throughout San Juan County. Once again, Safeway in Aztec, Farmers Market in Bloomfield, the 2 Walgreens drugstores in Farmington on East Main and 20th Street, and over in Shiprock at Shiprock PD. That's the drop-off locations from 10 until 1 p.m. And there's going to be law enforcement there to accept these, right? That's
Yes.
kind of how it works.
Yes.
And you're going to be in Shiprock.
I will be in Shiprock. Yes.
You've already been assigned.
I've already been assigned. It's already been planned out. We've been on the phone for the past 2 weeks and meetings, and it'll be a good event.
Very good. Well, and while I've got you here, Sergeant Martin, I want to ask you a little bit about your other role, which is working with the National Guard. And there's some summer programs coming up for folks in the area?
In this area, we're still on plans, working for the youth this summer in the community, for sure. So I'm in charge of the whole state for our Civil Operations Department in Albuquerque, and we are already booked up and lined up for June and July. We're going to do 5 Albuquerque Police Department youth camps, and we're going to have another one probably in August.
Okay.
But that doesn't say that we can't support any other youth camps or any other civic activities out there. So I would be the person to talk to. We do have a lot of adventure-based equipment, rock walls. We have inflatable gauntlets. What it all entails also is substance abuse prevention message as
Right.
well. We have to. One of our proponents through the counter drug program is that any event that we cover has to have a drug nexus, has a substance abuse awareness message tied to it. So
Sure.
it's such an honor to be out there with the youth and engaging them. And I think the most thing that we see that we get back from feedback from the kids is just basic mentorship, just being there with them. We don't necessarily have to be teaching them all the time. These kids these days, that come to these camps, they just want a friend. They just want someone to talk to, someone that the mentor actually looks up to them and asks them questions and engage with them. So
Right.
It's a very helpful tool that our Civil Operations program gets into during the summers.
That's wonderful. Well, again, we may hear more about it, some local things going on, but I think it's a great message, and just being there in front of these kids, you are great role models for them to see how someone can be successful and be an adult without having to worry about drugs or alcohol or all the other things that maybe they're tempted by as kids these days.
Yes, and one of our proponents is having a healthy lifestyle, and that we push through the counter drug program, push healthy lifestyles, alternative events for them to do in the summer. Some of these youth camps, they get there at 8 o'clock and they don't leave until 5. So, yes, it's a very good deal. As far as San Juan County goes, any youth events that we have, they'll be listed through the Dene Bajojo Coalition Facebook page and the San Juan County Partnerships Facebook page. Anything that we do as far as the New Mexico Counter Drug Program here in San Juan County will be pushed out through those media outlets.
Good to know. So again,
Yes.
if you're not already following those pages, you should be, because that's where the information will appear.
Yes, I just can't speak on my behalf saying, hey, there's
Sure.
all these events coming. There's a review process. Everybody has to say, yes, we're going to go do this, support
Right.
this. It takes a lot of organization for...
It sure does. Well, that's for sure. And but there are conversations happening.
Mhm.
So we'll look forward to hearing what's coming. So
Yes.
great. Very good. Final thought again, the Drug Take Back Day. We'll show the list one more time to our listeners and viewers who are watching us this morning. Saturday, day after tomorrow, everybody, April 27th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. to bring expired and unused medications to drop off sites for proper disposal by law enforcement. And Sergeant, I'll have you list them one more time for us and where we can take them.
All right, for this Saturday's on the April 27th, Take Back locations is Safeway in Aztec, Farmers Market in Bloomfield, Walgreens in Farmington on Main Street and 20th, and the Shiprock Police Department. We will be there from 10 to 1 to take back any unused, expired prescription pills that you may have in your location.
There you go. And just get rid of them, and then it's somebody else's problem to dispose of them, and that's what you guys will be doing. So
yes.
That's what you can do. Perfect. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Yes, Scott, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Have a great summer.
You too.
All right, very good. That is Sergeant Matthew Martin, my guest here on KSJE. Everybody, back with more in just a moment. The time right now is 8:40. This program is supported by San Juan Health Partners Urology, providing a wide range of personalized services for the whole family, including children. Our caring professionals are dedicated to helping meet your urology health needs with skill, experience, and service you need. For a complete listing of our services and to learn more, visit sanjuanhealthpartners.com or call 505-609-6300. San Juan Health Partners Urology.